Greatest comeback in the history of ever. Maybe we can have some Twinkies for dessert. But hey, we've got an awesome meal here for you, courtesy of Hank and Atria Regency. Good morning.
Morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being here. I like the way you got everything laid out here. Looks fantastic. And if you missed it during our teas during the morning show, you were working on steaming these asparagus here, or boiling
the asparagus, getting them ready to roast. We're going to actually pan roast some little olive oil, some salt and pepper.
Ooh.
Then we're going to take the asparagus out. We're going to add a little bit more olive oil to it. We're going to throw in our red onion. We're going to saute that a little bit. We're going to throw in our 3 tomatoes. A little bit of garlic, some white wine, toss it up, and then we're going to finish it with butter.
Are you trying to make our mouths water, or what's going on
That's
here?
what I'm here for.
All right.
That's what I'm here for.
Tell us a little bit about Atria Regency before we get started here.
Well, Atria Regency is an assisted living senior home. You know what, Kathy, would you like to come over and talk a little bit about it?
Well, we'll talk. You know what? We'll talk to Kathy in the next segment about that. How about we concentrate on the cooking, because
she's the one on that.
Sure, you gave us such a good introduction here that we want to see some of this cooking right now. So let's get down to business. What are we going to do?
I'm going to dredge some chicken in flour. Then we're going to put it in egg wash. We're going to get it in our pan. Let's go ahead and get this going.
Sure.
We want to get this as hot as we can get it without burning the place down.
Yep, that's a good goal.
We're going to add a little bit of olive oil to that and let that get hot. We're going to dredge our chicken.
Ooh.
Yeah, you want to get this nice and coated in flour, and then you're going to put it in the egg wash.
Okay.
And it's a lot of people say this is backwards from what you normally would do, because normally it's going to be dry, wet, dry, but we're foregoing the last dry part.
Okay.
Just so we get a nice egg crust on our chicken.
That's interesting. I actually made some chicken last night, and I did do the opposite. I did the egg wash first.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a lot of people say this is backwards, but it's French, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, we're just going to have to trust you that it's going to turn out well.
Yeah. So I tell you what, we're going to get this nice and hot. The thing is, you want to get it hot so your chicken doesn't stick.
Yeah.
If it's not hot enough, it's kind of like making an omelet. If you don't have the pan hot enough, your omelet's going to stick all over it too.
I hear you.
So,
well, the great thing about these cooktops is they do heat up quickly. You can already see
you can see the wave in there, which lets you know that your pan is hot.
And you also have that bottle of wine, that glass of wine, and some bottles of wine out here.
Yeah, it's just decoration.
Just something to complement the dish. A good white wine.
Absolutely, and actually we're cooking it with a good white wine too, so it will go great with it.
Nice.
All right, we're getting this going.
See, you can hear it sizzle right away.
That's the sound you want to hear right there. We're going to go ahead and get 2 of them in there.
And I can see your egg wash there kind of spread out the way an egg would. So that's
absolutely
learning new things here on Studio 10. Hope you're taking notes at home. All right, so we've got those in there, and we've got a lot more to do when we come back. We're going to put this whole dish together, chicken Francese, as we have learned this morning. All right, cheers. All right, we are back in the kitchen with Hank and Kathy from Atria Regency working on our chicken Francese, and this chicken looks beautiful that you made in the first segment.
Thank you.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to switch sides with you so you can get going on that over there. So what are you going to make for us now that we have the chicken done? Right
now I'm going to take our blanched asparagus. I'm going to pan roast it. We're going to get a little bit of color on it. We're going to pull it out. I'm going to add a little more olive oil. We're going to go with our red onion, our tomatoes, toss this up, a little bit of garlic, a little bit more white wine, and finish it with butter, and then we're going to be ready.
All right, well, I tell you what, you can just keep working here throughout the process, but we want to tell the folks about Atria Regency as well, so you're here to do that. Tell us what Atria Regency is all about.
We're an retirement and assisted living senior residence, and our whole goal is to help our residents live as independently as possible, as long as possible.
And provide them with some gourmet meals, courtesy of this guy from
yes,
time to time.
We do.
Man,
daily.
This is fantastic. So, tell us a little bit more about how you seek to get that goal that you just mentioned there.
Well, we have a full activity program. We don't call it an activity director, it's an engaged life. So they engage the residents in lively activities and things that stimulate their brain physically, socially. And what we found is elderly people that live alone really crave the socialization, and when they get into a setting where there are other people the same age, it's okay that they have a walker, or it's okay that they can't cut up their food, or it's okay that they can't see as well, and they just flourish. It's just an amazing thing.
Well, I know firsthand of what you're talking about. My grandparents right now are actually in a home similar to this all the way up in Wisconsin, but they love it because they have so much social interaction and social activity. All those things that you mentioned really have made it a great opportunity for them, and they just love being there. So
They do.
I'm sure many people feel the same way at Atria Regency.
We have a very lively group.
So, if you know one of your loved ones who may be a candidate for Atria Regency, how do they do? How do they get involved with
They
Atria
could just
Regency?
call at the community. Our number is 380-0053. They can ask for me. I'm the executive director or our sales director, or any of the directors can help.
Sure. And that sounds good. And this is starting to, you can hear it sizzling over here. So we got the asparagus going, checking back in with the kitchen here. All right. So are we at the point where we can add something yet, or do we got to let that?
We're going to let this go just for a second. I'm going to pull these out, and we're going to go with our onion.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I tell you what, this recipe, ooh, that does look good. This recipe is on our website, the Studio 10 tab at fox10tv.com. So just log on and follow along with us throughout the show, or try to make this for your family for dinner tonight. That
There you
sounds like a
go.
good
Yeah.
idea.
Absolutely.
As well. All right, we're going to check back in with you guys to finish this up in just a little while.
All right.
In our earlier segment, we learned all about a fantastic senior living facility called Atria Regency, and we also know now that they have fantastic food courtesy of Chef Hank Porter, who is finishing up the dish he is making today. Tell the folks what you've made for us here on Studio 10.
Today we have chicken Francese, we have roasted asparagus, and we have a 3 tomato relish.
Wow. Ooh. And you're going to drizzle that sauce on top as
We're
well.
gonna drizzle that on top. I'm going to give you some Parmesan cheese.
Can't go wrong with Parmesan
I'm
cheese.
going to give you some fresh parsley.
Can't go wrong with fresh
On
parsley.
this side, we're going to take our asparagus. We're just going to kind of lay it on there,
Wow.
like so. I'm going to take our tomato relish, and it's going to go right on top.
Tomato relish. For the folks just tuning in, what's all in that tomato relish?
This tomato relish actually is red onion. It's golden grape tomatoes, red grape tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, a little garlic, white wine, butter, and salt and pepper.
I gotta try some of this chicken Francese. And
Francese.
remind the folks the sort of backwards or not way you did the chicken.
The chicken is actually dredged in flour and then egg wash, and not flour again, which is some people would consider that to be backwards. But basically, you want like an omelet type texture on the outside of the chicken.
Well, I tell you what,
That's what you're looking
you
for.
achieved that, and it is perfection. This is
Right.
fantastic. So good. The recipe is on our website, Studio 10 tab at fox10tv.com. And of course, if you or your loved one is looking to find out more information about senior living facilities around the area, we also have all the contact information for Atria Regency. Thank you so much for coming in today, Hank.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I got to have another bite here as we go to commercial break.
Absolutely.
We'll be right back.